What's going on, YouTube? This is DBZ439 coming at you with my first place box tournament Mathmech deck profile. I'm very excited to showcase you this deck. I think it's a very strong contender right now. And just to quickly go over my matchups, my first match I played against Traptrix, I 2-0'd them. And then my second match I played against Kashtira, that was a 2-1. And then third match I played against Subterror, 2-0, and then finally I played against Labrynth, and I 2-0'd them. So I only lost one duel in which I should have won, but I just wasn't playing smart. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get on with the main deck. Starting off with triple Mathmech Circular. Now, this card is actually insane. Like, being able to be a one-card full combo for going first or second is just amazing. So no need to go too in-depth into that. Next, we play triple Diameter for obvious reasons. You know, to revive and, you know, having that effect on your XYZ monster for the Omni Negate is pretty good. It says negate that effect. So there's this one time where my opponent was trying to use the Dragoon effect to negate and destroy, and I was able to use Diameter effect to negate that effect without my opponent knowing in the final round. So that's pretty cool. Next, we play double Sigma. Don't need to play any more copies of this card. You just dump it off with Circular. Sometimes you use you already have the Sigma in hand, so you may dump a Diameter. But yeah, this primary purpose is to revive back or special summon from hand if necessary. Next, we just play more extenders and 2 additions, and then 2 subtractions. That's it for the Mathmechs. And now I played this small sub-package here, since we have a ton of space. We do play double microcoder. Now, a lot of people don't play this package, and I think this package is very good. Reason being is because it helps you search your Cynet Conflict, so it's an Omni Negate. And Cynet Conflict is very good because, you know, if they're trying to evenly your board and you activate Cynet Conflict, 1, they won't be able to respond, and 2, if they have multiple copies of that card in their hand, they're not able to resolve it. So that's really good. This can also be used to summon like Transcode Talker or Heatsoul, or even Accesscode Talker in hand, or from using this as a link material in hand. Or even if you have the Cynet Conflict, you can search the Cynet Mining to search another extender. So I think it's a pretty good package. It's not necessary, but I feel that in my testing, it's very good. And also, like going second, you just easily side it out. And so that's a lot of like spaces that you can use from your side deck. Next, we obviously play triple Parallax Z. This card's insane. You know, free bodies helps, you know, OTK, you know, make extra link monsters and whatnot. So next for the hair traps, obvious reasons, we play triple Ash Blossom. Very standard. And then triple Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is pretty good this format. I mean, obviously Monster Negation is really good. But obviously when you draw from Heatsoul, like you want to draw into a monster hand trap in the form of like Veiler or something that you can use on your opponent's turn. So I think Veiler's, you know, warrants a spot here. Next, we play triple Gamma. Now, before I wasn't playing this card, I was actually playing different hand traps and main decking Nibiru or other things, but I felt that Gamma was super necessary because of cards like Dimension Shifter. That card says a turn skip, and now that Kashtira is one of the best decks, Gamma stops the shifter. It can stop a lot of things. Like it can, I think it's a really powerful hand trap right now. So yeah, I do play the triple Gamma here. Yeah, it does conflict with Heatsoul, like when you draw on your opponent's turn, but you can easily use a Cynet Mining or Small World to, you know, get rid of it. So there's a lot of bridges you can do from there. Then obviously, same thing with the driver as well. And then finally for the hand traps, you do to play triple Imperm. So highlighting what I said earlier, I do not main deck Nibiru, neither do I side it. Now that could easily change moving forward, but at least in my locals is very control based and people are playing around Nibiru. So I made the judgment to not play Nibirus. But that can easily be sided in the future, or I could, you know, change stuff in the main deck. Also, another card I heavily considered, which I might put in the future, is Ghost Bell. I think Ghost Bell is very strong right now. So yeah, so moving forward with the traps, we do play the 1 Superfactorial and the 1 Cynet Conflict. Some people play 2 copies of this card as personal preference, but I just think 1 is good enough. And side note, that going second, I never side this card out, because in case people make you go first, in which that happened to me twice. Like, if you side this card out and then someone makes you go first, like, then you don't really have too much of line of play. Like, this card's absolutely insane. And then Cynet Conflict, Searchable Solemn Judgment is just really good. And even if you don't resolve it on your opponent's turn, like on your turn on the crackback. Like when you use Accesscode Talker, it's even more safe. If they try to Nibiru, so that's pretty cool. Next for one-of spells, we do play the one Equation and one Call by the Grave. Another card that I wanted to discuss was Induction. I think that card is okay. Like, I think with a lot of Floodgates being played right now, that card could warrant a spot, but as of right now, I play a bunch of board breakers going second, so in my side deck, so I don't feel the need to put that. The deck space is kind of tight, to be honest. Like, I try to make it 40 so that you can see Circular as much as possible. So these one-ofs are really good, especially Call by the Grave. I see some people not playing anymore, which is totally fine, but cards like Shifter, sometimes Droll, even a Ghost Spell on your Superfactorial, like, is very, like, crucial. So, like, you need to play Call by the Grave to ensure your plays. Then, for your searchers to get to Circular or whatever, 3 Cynet Mining and 3 Small World. Now, I do see some people playing 2 copies of this. I think you do max out on this. Going second, you could side out a copy of Cynet Mining, but Small World can get you, like, to a Kaiju in my sideboard, and just want to maximize consistency, don't want to take any chances. There are times where you just don't have access to Circular. And so, there are ways you can play around it, going into Alembertian, Pale Exceed and stuff. So yeah, that is a 40 card main deck. And moving forward, we're going with the side deck here. We do play the one Kaiju. This card won me so many games. This is a great small world bridge. And, I played against Dragoons and stuff like that. You just slap this over and you can still have your normal summon. So, like, I did play Lava Golem, which is totally fine. But now that people are just playing, one Arise Heart Pass, like, I just feel that, just playing Kaijus is just better. So I just play the one just for the small world bridge, excuse me. And then next we do play triple Book of Eclipse. This could get cut. It is primarily for the Kashtira matchup, obviously to book their Rise Heart or whatever, and just, like, unlock your zones. But I feel that there are more potent options that we can play. This card didn't put that much work in, unfortunately. But then again, I only played against one cash matchup. So this card could see cut, like maybe Nibiru's or something. Next, we do play triple Lightning Storm. Now, in my locals, there are a lot of control players and Labrynth, Traptrix, and what have you. And so, Lightning Storm is just a blowout card. Another card I kind of wanted to highlight was Pot of Desires. I know we're in the side deck right now, but that's something I really wanted to play in my main deck. Now, I do play, the Gamma package, and then the Parallel Exceeds, and then the Cynet Conflict and stuff, so that does conflict. So I did opt to take those out, but in the future, I may consider playing those. But moving forward with the side deck, yeah, Lightning Storm just puts in a lot of work. And yeah, you just get a lot of value out of it. Another card I consider is Cosmic Cyclone to help you go first, which you can totally play. But I feel that my going first is so good to the point where I don't really need help with that, so I'd rather have stuff to help me go second. Next, we do play the one Harpy's Feather Duster for the same reasons, and then the one Appointer of the Red Lotus. I mean, you basically, you draw so much, and you deck thin, so there's a good chance where you do open this card, you flip it, and you basically know exactly what to hit, and it's just a really good card right now. It's limited for a reason. Next, we play Evenly Matched for obvious reasons. This is one of the best blowout cards right now. And this card doesn't really hurt you too much, which is kind of crazy. And then also this following card as well, Dimensional Barrier. Like, sure, they can call XYZ, but who cares? This is primarily like a Link deck, especially going second. But, going first, like, Dimensional Barrier is really strong. I did have Anti-Spell Fragrance at first, but I just have a bad relationship with that card. Every time I flip it, like, I don't get too much value out of it. And, like, it conflicts with my own unit because I do play quite a bit of spells. And, like, I don't know. I just have a bad relationship with that card. Every time I flip it, it hurts me. But D-Barrier, it can be turn skip, especially against, decks like Despia, Drytron, and whatnot. So, yeah, extra deck, pretty standard. Go to one Laplacian and double Alembertian, Laplacian with the Trishula effect, and then the Alembertian can search whatever. There's one time in the tournament which was crazy because someone shifted me. And I'm not sure if I can resolve Laplacian effect under Shifter because it says Send to the Grave. But regardless, I went into Alembertian with a Diameter underneath it, detached 3 materials, and then searched an Ash, which was kind of cool. But I could cut this to 1, to be honest, because you only need 1 to do your full combo. Like going second, like you don't really go into it. I know like people can negate it and whatnot, but the extra deck space is so tight, and I want to like highlight other cards that I really wanted to play in this tournament. But moving forward, we do play the double Accesscode Talker. Now, you could make do with one, but that'd be really hard because especially against cash, like if you play one, they're going to rip this out. And two, you use one to clear board and use the other to go for game. Especially if they Nibiru you and stuff. There is a extra deck combo where you can input in your extra deck where it includes Crystal Heart and Link Spider, in which I don't play. I opt to play something else, and that really plays around Nibiru. But the fact that I'm seeing Nibiru seeing less play now, it's the reason why I opt to play other cards. But I do play the one Avramax. Avramax is an auto win against control decks. They have a really hard time getting over this, and it could be a good wall in certain matchups. And it can get over stuff. So Avramax is pretty cool. One Unicorn and then one Heatsoul. So Unicorn was Appaloosa, but I realized like Appaloosa is kind of lackluster, especially if it's just 1600 attack. Like I'd rather have a Unicorn, especially against control matchups, so I can like shuffle something back. And then I can link it away for like an access code easily next turn. And then Heatsoul is obviously amazing. I can also bring it back with Transcode Talker. Just getting free draws and is just really good. Next we do play the one Transcode and the one Update Jammer. Another card that I'm considering to like bump up to 2 just because I see a lot of cash players ripping this card out. This is like your win con. Because when you use your circular effect, you can only attack with one monster. So Update Jammer helps you go for game. And then we play only one Splash Mage. Unfortunately, that's another card I kind of want to bump up to 2. Going first, you want to do your Heatsoul combo in case it gets interrupted, with hand traps and whatnot. And also going second, obviously, to go to Splash Mage, Update Jammer for game. Next, we do play the Wicckid. I think this is absolutely necessary. Wicckid is really good for searching up for follow-up. The only problem I have with this card is a dark attribute. So with Microcoder, I can't make Heatsoul. Heatsoul has to be with different attributes. So that's one confliction I have. But other than that, Cyberse Wicckid is pretty necessary. I don't play the Link Disciple, the DVOT packet. I think that package is absolutely unnecessary. There's other cards that we can play instead. Then we do play the one Mask, the one Code Talker Inverted, and then one Linguriboh. So IP Masquerena is pretty good because when you go first, I've noticed that I have a bunch of extenders in my hand, and I don't want them to just sit in my hand. I'd rather make an IP Masquerena for another interruption. In the form of Avramax, especially against control matchups, or the Unicorn to spin, especially in the control matchup as well, if they set 3 cards or something. So I do see myself IP Masquerena being pretty good. However, there are people who are playing evenly and stuff, and I don't have the conflict. IP is kind of useless. The one Linguriboh for obvious reasons, so we don't really care about Ibli, and it's really good against trap matchups. Also kind of considered playing 2 of it, in case, they rip it out or whatever. But also this card right here, Code Talker wrote, a lot of people are wondering, why do I play this? It's primarily for the Microcode Talker. This is very easy to make, and then you just link it off for anything else to make Heatsoul. So yeah, it's a really good package, I think, because what I try to end on is Wicckid, and then underneath it is the Code Talker Inverted, utilizing the Microcode Talker to make it, and then make that to make Heatsoul, search the Cynet Conflict, and then, obviously draw a bunch of cards with the Heatsoul with hand traps and forms of other interruptions. And this deck is actually really good going first or second, primarily just because this card is just insanely broken. But that is it for the deck profile. I think I covered everything I want to talk about the deck. There definitely can be changes, especially with the ban list potentially coming up relatively soon. I do suspect Kashtira, Despia to get hit in some capacity, so do expect some changes, maybe in the extra deck, increase the Splash Mage, Crystal Heart, Link, Spider package. I'm heavily considering side deck, the Nibirus, or maybe even the main deck. But anyways, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, post it down below in the video. I try my very best to read every comment and try to respond. Hit the like and subscribe button. Have a great day.